some conversations are worth keeping quiet. You know, every once in a while, a line just perfectly nails the heart of a story. And what's wild is that this specific quote was called out by two completely different early readers as the absolute soul of the novel we're about to break down.
Hey everyone! So today, we are pulling back the curtain on a process you almost never get to see. How a story goes from just a private idea, a simple blueprint, all the way to a physical book sitting on a bookshelf.
So check this out. We've actually gotten our hands on some fascinating confidential documents for a novel that's not even out yet, called The Light Speakers. And using these, we're going to map out the entire journey from that raw idea to a market-ready book. This is the part of the process that usually stays behind closed doors.
And every journey like this starts with a single spark, right? For The Light Speakers, it's a core idea that's both really strange and honestly kind of beautiful.
Okay, just imagine this for a second. A colony of intelligent, light-emitting creatures gets stranded in this quiet bay in Texas, and the only person who finds them is some local guy who tinkers with ham radios. Now, the typical sci-fi playbook, it would call for helicopters and conflict and the whole shebang, but this story does something totally different. It picks stewardship over spectacle. The whole point isn't to expose these creatures, it's to understand them and to protect them. It's a quieter and maybe much harder choice to make.
So a great idea is one thing, but does it actually survive first contact with a real reader? That's the first big test, the feedback stage.
And we are not just talking about catching typos here. This is about beta reader feedback, where total strangers come in and basically stress test the story's emotional and logical wiring. It's a crucible, really. It's where an author finds out if their big idea really works for someone who isn't them. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. We have two totally different readers. You've got the adventurous reader who just loves fresh ideas, and then you have the harsh critic who's all about tight plotting. But get this, look at the scores. The critic actually rates the story's quality higher than the adventurous reader does, but they find it a less perfect personal fit. It's a perfect illustration of how a great story can land in completely different ways, all depending on who's reading it.
And here's where you can really see that difference in action. Their emotional journeys through the book are just worlds apart. I mean, they both start out shocked in Chapter 3. They're on the same page there. But by Chapter 5, that shock has turned into delight for one and straight-up uneasiness for the other. The biggest split, though, is Chapter 11. One reader is terrified, 95% scared, while the other one is just feeling thoughtful. It's the exact same chapter, but two wildly different experiences.
But here's the crucial part. Even with their different tastes, their feedback pointed to the exact same things. They both loved the core concept and the big cinematic scenes, and they both flagged the same two weaknesses. The science behind how the antenna hears light felt a little, hand-wavy, and a key character's change of heart felt really rushed. When different readers give you the same note, that's absolute gold for an author. It's a clear, actionable roadmap.
Okay, so let's move to the next puzzle. The story's solid, but now you have to sell it. And selling a quiet, thoughtful book, that presents a whole unique set of challenges.
This is really the central question the marketing team had to figure out. How do you take a story that's defined by its quiet, gentle nature and make it stand out in a really noisy marketplace?
And the marketing team's analysis was brutally honest. They realized the book's slow burn style might disappoint readers who are expecting a thriller, while its gentle sci-fi might not be enough for the hardcore genre fans. The biggest risk of all was that it could just fall right through the cracks, not fitting neatly into any one category.
So what do you do? I mean, the temptation might be to change the book, to punch it up, make it louder, but the marketing plan they came up with here was so much smarter than that. So the solution wasn't to change the story's soul. No, it was to embrace what made it unique, and then go find the specific readers who were already looking for that exact kind of quiet, thoughtful experience. It's a classic case of aiming for the right target, not just the biggest one. And here's that strategy in action. Instead of hiding the book's quiet nature, they leaned right into it. The main messaging framed it as a tender, atmospheric first contact story. They even targeted a very specific niche, readers who appreciate Ted Chiang-ish empathy. I mean, they were basically marketing the book directly to people just like our adventurous reader, making sure that the book's promise perfectly matched its reality. This brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful idea that connects everything we've seen, from the creative feedback all the way to the commercial strategy. All these complex decisions, all these debates about plot points and marketing taglines, they're all driving toward a single, very personal destination.
And that destination has a name, one that was actually coined by a beta reader, the spiritual bookshelf. It's that magical kind of alchemical mix of elements, the theme, the character, the tone, that makes a book feel like it was written just for you. It goes way beyond genre. It's like a personal formula. Just think back to our adventurous reader. This was their exact formula. Coastal settings, DIY heroes, curiosity over cynicism. The Light Speakers hit every single one of those notes for them. That's why their personal reader fit score was a staggering 90%. The book landed perfectly on their spiritual bookshelf.
So the crucial point here is this. A great book isn't just a work of art. It's a deliberate fusion of that art with a smart, empathetic strategy that's designed to guide it to the people who will love it most, to help it find its home on their spiritual bookshelf. And that leaves us with one final thought. Forget about genres for a second. What are the specific ingredients, the settings, the character types, the themes that would make up your own personal spiritual bookshelf? The answer to that question says a whole lot about the stories that truly move you.